Okay, so once you've exported your quiz, you'll see that it comes up in its own web page. Tanida Quizbuilder generates the web page for you, and if you see the quiz in the center there, I right click it and you can see that it's a Flash file, whereas if I click outside of the quiz area, you'll see View Page Source, showing that it is in fact an HTML page. And this HTML code is all created by Quizbuilder when you export your quiz. Now, the bit that we're really interested in here is the section that begins center. This HTML tag tells the browser to center the content, so that the quiz you'll see is centered on the page, and that tag is closed down there. The object tag here begins there and ends down here, is the code for embedding Flash content into a web page. It also has a sub-element called embed, which again enables the Flash content to be embedded into HTML. You can see that testquiz.swf is referenced here, and it's also referenced here, so it gets referenced twice. There are some parameters: the width of the quiz, the height, and so on. Okay. Right, so we can now look at our quiz. Yep, see that there's the dragging dialogue into order. How are you today? Oh, not bad. I'm fine, thanks. How are you? Okay. So, yep. Okay. Choose the best word. I haven't. This is the word bank question type that we saw before. I haven't seen. Oops, I should drag it there. Okay. Good. So you see, there's a fair number of interaction types. Choose the best word. I went. Okay. The past simple of go is went. Right. Once upon a time lived a pretty beautiful red princess. Oh, incorrect. Let's try again. Lonely. Correct. Okay. Matching. Rich, poor. Nice and nasty. Hot and cold. Pretty and ugly. Okay. And so on. Okay. And then we see the result at the end. Right, the exit frequently doesn't work actually, so let's not worry about that. Now then, let's just minimize, go back to my source file. Now if I want to modify anything, of course I can go back into my customize area and change certain aspects, which we'll come back to in a moment. Before I do that, I'd like to just very quickly show you the elements that are created by Quizbuilder. Okay, so the first thing to note is the file called ending pqb is the actual Quizbuilder source file, so you keep that because that's the file you use. If I double click it, you'll see that it will open my quiz, and that's the source for me to edit the quiz and change it later on. Obviously you need to keep that, don't lose it. The HTML page is here, it's a Firefox document in this case, and this is created by Quizbuilder. And you'll notice that it also creates a file called SWF with the name of your quiz. This is the Flash, the Shockwave Flash object. This is the quiz itself, in fact. And it also creates a JavaScript file that is used by Internet Explorer if the user doesn't have Flash installed on their computer. This will redirect the user to the Adobe Flash download site because the Quizbuilder files use the Flash plugin to play in the browser. If you don't have Flash installed, your quiz won't work. That's just to show you very quickly the relationship between the HTML and the SWF, if I just very quickly create a new folder, and I'll just call it new. Okay, now if I move the HTML page into there, for example, okay, and I haven't got the actual Flash file in there, when I run it, nothing happens. I'm in fact getting a blank HTML page. If I view the source, you'll still see that the code is all there and the object information is there, but it's looking for test quiz SWF and it's not in the folder where it should be. So let's just leave that there for a moment. Let's just go back. Now if I move the test quiz SWF file into that folder, so that's with the HTML page, let's just go back to the HTML page. If I now reload the page, okay, you'll see that it now works because the Shockwave Flash file is in the same directory as the HTML page, and so it works. Okay, so that's something very important to remember. Now, other things, I'm not very happy with the appearance of my quiz. I don't like the fact that it's white on a white page, because I don't think it's very easy to see. Now I have an option. I can either change the HTML attribute of the page color manually by editing the HTML, or I can change the color of the quiz. So of course the easiest, quickest thing to do is to change the color of the quiz. So go to customize. Let's have a quick look. So there are a couple of things we can look at here. Look at the layout. Alright, so we've got a width and a height. Well, that's not too bad, but you can make it a bit larger. So let's increase the width to something like 800. We have to actually use the slider here. Okay, and we'll change the height to 600 or 550, something like that. Let's put it to 530. Okay. Change the background color. Do we want a rectangle? Yes. A rectangle might be useful, help my quiz to stand out a little bit more on the page. So that's a beginning. What color could the rectangle be? Well, let's choose a suitably sort of dark color. And let's change the color of the background a little bit. Here you can choose a custom option to get custom colors if you're not happy with the rather limited selection on that palette. And I want to go for a sort of pinkish theme, so I'll choose a pink color there. That's too strong. I can go down to a much paler version, add it, press OK. Oops, now I've got a very, very pink looking quiz. I think that might be a little bit too pink, so I'm going to go down another level. Okay, make it a sort of soft pink. Now that green bar doesn't look great, so let's modify the color of the bar, and we can do that here with the bar tab. Okay, now here we can add and remove the audio thing. I don't like the audio personally, so I take it off. I just want the number of questions, the number of points, and the current score. Do we want to drop shadow? That's this little shadow here around the bar. Yes, I'll leave that. And I think I'll change this to a different color for the bar though, something that's more in keeping with the overall theme. That's okay. The word introduction is in white, which is fine. If I want to change that at all, I go to fonts. Now I can look at the title. Test quiz up there, you see, I can make it larger. It sort of cuts it off, so be a bit careful with that. I'll leave it as it is. Do I want it to be bold? Yeah, I'll leave it bold. But I might change the colour to that sort of purpley colour there. I don't want to go on too much of a riot on colours. The bar, that's the font in there where it says introduction. I think I might increase it to 12, make it bold. Okay. Let's have a look at button questions. Okay, let's see. If I press start a minute, let me just increase the question. Yeah, that will increase the text size of the questions, and this will increase. So you can play around with the fonts, and you can modify the look and feel of your quiz quite a lot. There's a styles option. We can check the jeweled style. You'll see that the Mac style, Mark, Windows 2000, Windows XP, Classic, Flat. Okay, so I think I quite like the Mark. That's quite interesting. Maybe the Mac. Let's go for the Mac look. Yeah. Okay. Press OK, and then you can preview your quiz. And when you're happy, close that. Okay. Remember, you need to save again. Just check the properties for the output. So we're going to be exporting it to desktop test quiz. Okay. The file I created. It's a Shockwave Flash. That's fine. We can press export, and lo and behold, there's the new quiz with the border. It stands out a little bit, and it's got a bit of Mac styling there. Okay. Alright, oops. If I make a few attempts, you'll see that the way attempts work and so on. Okay, try. Well, I at least have to try answering the questions by the look of it. Okay, now you can see what the problem would be with unlimited attempts. Would just be completely annoying, because the user would never get past the question if they didn't know the answer. This is the word bank. I haven't seen like that. So you'll see there are a fair number of interaction types. Past simple of go, went. And put the dialogue in order. Hello, how are you today? I'm fine, thanks, and you? Not bad, all things considered. Continue. And I got 40 points. The passing score is 36. I got 66.67 points. Well done. Okay, oops, and that's the Flash settings page, which I don't particularly want to go to. Okay, so there we are. That's a very quick introduction to making Tanida quizzes.